Hi, and welcome to Wow Talk. I'm Donna Cappuccitti, a thriving cancer survivor.
And I'm her naturopathic doctor, Darlene Gustin. We're here to encourage, educate, and empower you on your journey to optimum wellness.
Okay, I'm starting to record there, so we're recording, and we'll record here. And welcome.
Hi there.
So today we are going to talk about a subject that people have been talking about a lot lately, and that is fertility.
Sadly, infertility has become increasingly common in younger couples.
Really? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah.
I wasn't even thinking about the younger couples, but tell me.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, one of my favorite topics of interest in science is endocrine disruptors. Those are chemicals, toxins that mess up our hormones. And in my genetics degree a few years ago,
Like two.
few decades ago, even a few decades ago, in the field of genetics, we already knew that male fertility sperm count was already declining drastically, but they didn't worry about it too much because it didn't seem to stop people from conceiving. And they were starting the studies of wondering if these chemical toxins in the environment, these endocrine disruptors, were maybe the cause for this. And I've practiced long enough that I have unquestionably seen younger and younger couples coming in with infertility as my career goes by. And it's very sad. Like, you know, when I first started practicing, you'd never see couples in their 30s struggling to conceive, but now it's sadly common.
Yeah. That's what's scary.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's talk about, well, I'd like to hear what happens when someone comes into your office and you have the discussion and the questions you ask, but then also, what are they and what are those endocrine disruptors? Okay, so let's talk details about those, and then also, what do you do and what's your action plan when someone does come in with that?
Well, usually the person that came in is the female.
Yes.
So I'm starting with the female. She always thinks it's her fault, right? And a lot of these patients, their blood work was normal, and they don't necessarily want to do IVF interventions. And as a naturopath, I look for that gray area. Do they have enough zinc? Is their thyroid really optimal? Do they need a cleanse? And in the naturopathic world with fertility, for the male and the female, we like to start a minimum of 3 months before your time of intended conception, because we want to detoxify you very well.
Yeah.
Preferably 6 months. But step one for us is to get all the toxins out of the body, because they matter the most in the first trimester. They have the biggest impact. So any toxins that you're exposed to when newly pregnant have much bigger consequences. And so if you can get those out of the way, because once you're pregnant, you can't really do a cleanse anymore. It's not safe. It's not studied. It doesn't make any sense. So the first thing with the female is I look for, do you need any kind of a cleanse? Do you need a liver cleanse? Do you need what we call a parasite cleanse to improve the microbiome and get the environment as healthy as possible? And directly dealing with fertility, I find a lot of the patients that I've met, I found what we called subclinical hypothyroid. So what that means is that your thyroid's lazy. I call it lazy thyroid.
Okay, that's it's a good description, because we get it then.
Yeah, it's not broken. It doesn't show up in blood work. The ultrasounds are normal, but when I look at the symptoms, the basal body temperature, everything about them looks thyroid.
Okay.
And so that's one of the common things that I find. It's also very common for me to find in the male and the female is a deficiency of zinc. So zinc is my favorite mineral.
Yes, we talked about that.
Don't we know that already?
And I was so surprised
because it's really fun when you give a person one thing like zinc. I know that I'm fixing 2,000 things simultaneously because zinc has that many jobs that it does for you in the body. And
brilliant.
Many, many of those jobs pertain to fertility. So sperm count, sperm quality, conception itself, detoxing the body, immunity, antioxidant, egg quality. Like I could talk for a week on just zinc. So that's one of the first things I look for in the guy and the girl. And And then I start with the basics, as I always do. Is she getting enough protein? Is she getting enough sleep? Because if you're under stress, like think about it, it might be 2024, but we still have very primitive bodies. So if we're under stress, our body thinks it's running from a tiger.
Yes.
Yeah. So the last thing you would do is get pregnant when you're busy running from a tiger. Like
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yes. So
get pregnant later.
yeah, yes. So the threat or the fear or the stress or what have you has changed. As you said, it's 2024. But
Yeah.
our bodies are reacting as if we're back in those days, the cavemen days,
Yeah.
cave people days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we want to be fancy, this was just a little conversation about cortisol. So
Sure.
yeah, so cortisol. And so in my treatment plans with patients, I say, okay, you have 50 symptoms, 5 symptoms, doesn't matter. In my brain and on this piece of paper that I give to patients, I put all their information into 3 piles. And I say, step 1, what is in your body that's not supposed to be there? Let's get rid of everything in your body or your lifestyle that is reducing your fertility.
Okay.
Are you acidic? Do you have low-grade yeast infections? Do you need a liver cleanse because you've been smoking or eating a lot of processed foods or exposed to a lot of scented products, such as dryer sheets and those plug-in air fresheners? They're quite toxic to your hormone system. So we start with that. Step 1, get the garbage out.
Yes.
And then step 2, put back whatever's missing. Zinc.
There's that zinc again.
Yeah. Protein, healthy oils. These are all things that matter for getting pregnant and staying pregnant.
When you talk about healthy oils, are you talking about the oils that we cook with or also just fish oil? What are you talking about exactly?
Both. So the oils that you cook with, a lot of the oils in a grocery store that we've been using for the last 20 years, those are not the good ones. And people know olive oil is a good thing, but they may not know that it's not really the right oil for high temperatures.
Yeah, I know that, and I use it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And what is the one? What's the one we should be using? Well, it's more beneficial to use. What would you say?
For high cooking?
Yes.
I use avocado oil for high cooking.
I knew you were going to say that. Do you notice the flavor is different at all, though?
No, I'm okay. I'm used to it, I guess.
Oh, I guess so. Yes, because I'm so used to the olive oil flavor, of course. Okay.
And as North Americans, we have a reputation for having an overabundance of omega-6. So what we often need to supplement would be omega-3, which is our good old fish oil.
Yes. What's omega-6?
Omega-6, it can be very inflammatory. It's another category of oils.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
whereas omega-3 is more anti-inflammatory, and it's really important for the immune system and baby brain development.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's step 2. Put back everything that's missing, the minerals, the protein. And in the first trimester, there's not really a large increased need for nutrition because the baby goes from the size of a cell to the size of a bean. So it's not like you need a lot of extra calories in those first 3 months, but you need clean lifestyle more than anything.
So it's good to prepare the body before, even if you are having fertility issues, that even start to prepare yourself as if you're in that first trimester. Okay.
And having optimum amount of thyroid hormones and progesterone hormones is also very important for getting pregnant and staying pregnant.
Oh, yes.
So
staying pregnant.
Yeah. So some of these people, they may not even know they are conceiving, but just losing it so quick, it just looks like a weird period, but it was actually a very early miscarriage. So
that's interesting.
Yeah.
And true.
Yeah. And then second trimester, that's where there's more growth happening with the baby, and there's a lot more nutritional things that you need to stay pregnant and have a healthy pregnancy and baby. So you need extra protein, extra iron, extra calcium and magnesium. And so it's not just about conceiving. A lot of people need help staying pregnant, especially with couples waiting longer to get pregnant. They might be already in their declining age of progesterone.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I mean, one thing I do want to talk about, though, is the timing of when you're conceiving. and knowing your ovulation and all of that and your cycle. I'm sure, well, obviously it does play into it clearly, but do people put a lot of weight on that? Like, I wonder, because I think that that's another thing that you could miss the mark.
Of course. So that's just a basic thing that they may not know. I'm really glad you brought that up. So the female menstrual cycle, it's approximately a 28-day cycle. And day 1 is considered the first day of menstruating. And approximately around day 14, plus or minus a day or two, is when you ovulate. And that's really the only time you're fertile, is those couple of days per month in the middle of the cycle. And if that egg wasn't used to conceive, then everything gets shed out and you have cycle number 2 on approximately day 28.
Yeah.
So that's very important, that you have to be trying to conceive at the right time of the month, of course.
So I think that we could do an episode on ovulation even, and
Sure.
that whole thing. And we've talked about menstruation for sure and having a healthy cycle. But I think the ovulating is also a big one. I remember cramping when I was ovulating. Just these little cramps, but not really realizing it, thinking they were like little muscle spasms or something. And then once I really thought about it and noticed the pattern, and when I was feeling those pains monthly, I realized, oh my goodness, this is when my ovaries are releasing an egg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Did
they
not know
they
until
clearly need to release the egg if you're going to try and fertilize it.
That's right.
And some
Yes.
people don't.
Oh, that's
So-
another thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I teach people how to know whether they're ovulating or not. So to make sure that that part of it is in order, because the egg has to come out of the ovary to be able to meet up with the guy parts to
Yes. To be fertilized.
Of course.
And to create a new life. Exactly. Is there anything else we should touch on about infertility?
I think the biggest thing for especially our young listeners is look up the word endocrine disruptors and clean up your life, because I find that young people really don't understand how toxic some of the things are in their lifestyle that they take for granted, like perfumes. And where do you spray it? On your thyroid. You thought you sprayed it on you. No, you lifted your chin up and you sprayed your thyroid. So
That's right. That's so true. Oh,
and
man.
scented candles, everybody loves them. They're so pretty. They smell so yummy. There's going to be a lot of scented candle exchange in the next couple weeks.
Yes, there will be.
It's Christmas time now, and they're beautiful, but they're not healthy. So also simple things like dryer sheets are also very strong endocrine disruptors, but basically most scented products would be there. And caffeine is also estrogenic, and pesticides, insecticides. So look it up. It's a huge topic.
Isn't it though? Wow. We'll do another one on that too, I guess.
For sure. For sure.
We're creating a list as we go. Anyway, well, on that note, I guess that's it for now. But we would love for you to follow us on our Instagram page and our Facebook page as well. And what else?
Please send us any suggestions of what you'd like us to talk about. And if not, we'll just keep rambling on things that get us excited.
Exactly. They seem to pop up
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah.
Anyway, one thing leads to another.
Yep.
All right. Thank
Hopefully
you.
it leads to a baby.
Not for us. We've already had ours.
Yeah, we're done.
Okay. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.